Someone actually asked me, how do I feel on anime being a propaganda? And my response was, before you look at Japan, look at Disney. Hello there, how's it there? Ame Gakita there. So obviously today's mention is about Disney. I mean, like, is it full of propaganda, or are they just took this skin because it's really just crazy over the past few years? And I haven't really talked about Disney for the past few times because it is just ridiculous. But then again, a huge shout out to Pil-san for giving me this idea. Not directly give me the idea on talking about it, but it's actually more so that when you look at the whole ordeal in recent time, it just showcases that either Disney is just too thin to admit it, or it's just that they are full of propaganda that when you look at it, it's just ridiculous. So is Disney propaganda or are they this skin? That is for you to decide at the end of the video, because you guys are going to take up the skill and decide on your own. I'm not going to be the one judging. I'll be giving you guys 3 few points and then you guys decide on your own. Now, obviously number 1 is about Disney itself. When we talk about how Disney always try to admit that they are the number 1 or whatsoever along the line, they decided to do a simple tweak called the number 1 movie in the world, which is basically The Lion King. Now, Lion King itself is a great movie, not the real life version because I have not seen that myself, but I have watched the animation for who knows how long when. Now, that being said, do I understand that the movie itself, the real life, is it a good one or not? That is for people to decide, not just me. There are many people with different point of view, and it may be a cup of tea for some, but it may be just not for the others, because some other people might prefer coffee. So you can't really go and outright say that people do like this kind of thing. And the first thing is that one of the things when you admit that you are the number 1 in the world, is it really the number 1 in the whole world, or is it that you're taking the whole overall number scale and then just say that, hey, we are number 1? Well, the thing is, it's kind of funny that as you guys saw earlier, was that Sonic the Hedgehog 3 actually claimed number 1 spot, and even if in the international box office it is number 1, you have to understand the main reason that Sonic did not go to overseas yet. So at the end of the day, you can't really say that, hey, it's because that we released earlier and then it's claimed number 1. Often more than not, you have to look at the timeline, and then at the end of the day, whether is it number 1, you have to look at the sales. Did they hit the box office? Did they actually earn a lot? And by then we can claim that whoever earn more will claim that number 1. But for you to claim number 1 in the world, it's really kind of like showing the moment where when you are celebrating too fast, you thought you reached the goal, until when someone out of nowhere just run past you with a last super, with a last zoom, and then you kind of like, yep, you're gonna celebrate too fast or too early along the line, and then you kind of really have to ask yourself, is it really? Now, is it that they are very this skin? Probably, but then the reason why I also feel that it's a bit of propaganda in a way is that the reason why they want to do this kind of tweet is to showcase that whoever like me have not watched the show yet or the movie yet, if I see the word number 1 movie in the world, it will kind of like just showcase in a marketing term that I would be interested to know what make it number 1. So if that's the case, that will also mean that I will go and decide to say, hey, if this number 1 in the box office, I would very in time to watch it, regardless of whether there is any other show that seems to be taking number 1 spot in other places. So in a way, if you're telling me that this is not a propaganda, that's for you to decide, because in a way it is a form of marketing term, and sometimes you have to ask yourself, is marketing a form of propaganda? Because when you go and think about it, right, psychological, it is still not wrong when you put number 1. Everyone in your mind, can you admit that when people say it's number 1, you are not curious to watch it? Like, let's say that we have 10 chicken burger, and I say the first one on the left is the number 1, but not the last one. What is your first choice to go? Will you go for the number 1 that I say is on the left, or will you go for the last one that is on the first one on the right? Sometimes you may just say that the one in the middle may be the better chicken burger, but who knows? Which is the reason why sometimes you have to ask yourself, just because one said it, does that mean it's true? Not entirely. So in a way, when Disney put up this kind of tweet, it is in a form of propaganda trying to appeal to the whole world, saying that their movie is the best and that no one should not miss it along the line. So the thing is, when you kind of like go with this idea, you can't really say that people would love it along. And more so that even funnier is that people are bashing on Sony themselves, the movie itself, sorry, that people are actually saying like the Sony fan are bashing them. Now, that being out of the way, it's really kind of like in Rev video that I saw another moment that actually brought a huge light to the idea about how Disney really have been flopping over the years. And in recent time, it's really Star Wars. Now the thing is, right, Star Wars has been one of the so-called having the biggest fan base in the world, and you really can't deny that how much people would love Star Wars. Even like Mythbuster, when you go and talk about them, they always have like dedicated movie or dedicated episode to Star Wars. If you go and talk about Danny Chiu from Japan, he also a huge fan of Star Wars. You talk about any other one in the world, when you're talking about it, they all love Star Wars. Am I a huge fan of Star Wars? Maybe in the past, but no longer now, because a lot of all the show in recent time has been kind of like questionable. It's kind of like weird, and when you have like a moment of like it doesn't make sense, you kind of like really want to bet the question like, do you still want to watch it? To me, absolutely not anymore. And kind of like a lot of the Star Wars show have been flopping over the years, and more so that when the show themselves take a lot of money or budget to make, is it because they have to pay the artists? Is it because they have to pay for the CGI along the line? Who knows? It's really, really hard to say. Yet, personally to me, I don't really want to watch it. Okay, the thing is, right, when you have a lot of things, is it because of propaganda in them? Probably. It's hard to say. The thing is that why would propaganda in it start to happen? It's actually more so on the part that they want to add LGBTQ to it. Then out of nowhere, they decide to just say that, hey, we must have Asian people, we must have black people, we must not have white people along the line. It's kind of like getting people questioning like, what are they trying to prove? Because the thing is, right, it's fine if you want to go it, but when you even have game that is created by Ubisoft, because they want to create a Star Wars game that is gonna be a hit for all the Star Wars fans, yeah, it turned out to be a flop. Apparently, because even though there are many people who buy the game who is like hardcore Star Wars fan, yeah, I don't think it is a success if they are not reporting on it, right? So the thing is, right, when you kind of like go in the idea about how like is Star Wars really a propaganda or not, yeah, if you notice that they were wanting to add cases like by women doing like being touched by men can become pregnant, or women can only be pregnant by somehow, some way, some reason, it's just kind of like beg the question that how the hell is that even possible? I mean, like somehow there is already cases about in their fantasy world that men can get pregnant, so maybe in their universe maybe that's possible. But the thing is, right, when you kind of like adding a lot of like questionable thing and the story doesn't make sense, it really kind of like beg the question like, is it really propaganda? Because if you start adding thing in real life through like fantasy world, it is really a moment that is it really the writer just being thick-skinned trying to use real life stuff into the story itself, or is it that it's just full of propaganda where they're trying to add LGBTQ or Asia or black? Because the thing is, right, how can we be so sure that in that universe, in that parallel timeline or whatever you want to call it, that they have that kind of people in that story? It's hard to say. So it's really hard to say. But then again, when you're adding like a story about stuff in real life into a fiction, it's really kind of like beg the question, is it drawing the line of propaganda? Because at the end of the day, if you add agenda or ideology to the story, it's fine. But when the story itself is really questionable, yeah, I'm trying to think that it's likely to have some sort of propaganda within that. And more so that Rev is not like shy to talk about this. When 1 year ago he talked about how Disney having Little Mermaid remake. Well, I didn't know that Little Mermaid was considered black, but I can't really say is it a good one or bad one, because the thing is, right, the reason why they kind of like talk about the Little Mermaid is that it was supposed to be a red hair white skin character. But Disney decided to say that no, the remake must be a black with brown hair. It's really one of the moments where you are going against the origin of the Disney. I mean, like, you can just go and get a red hair, for goodness sake, and decide that no, we are not gonna have a red hair. I guess that in their mindset that Mermaid has to be black. Because in a way, if anyone who search out about Mermaid, right, it is tend to be linked to Siren, a mystical beast which is known for dragging sailor down into the sea, which means that if they are black skin, yeah, maybe they are very black hearted as well. Who knows? Maybe cut out one of them and their heart must be black, right? Who knows? I mean, like, it just some sort of the, curiosity, but don't do it, alright? In no way I'm gonna do that myself. But the thing is, right, when you can't like look at the whole scenario, we can't be sure like is it really that full propaganda when you kind of like adding black people to the cast. It's fine if there is some sort of black character in the origin story, but when you kind of like do it once, I was like, maybe Disney learned the backlash, maybe Disney know that it is an issue. But when you kind of have doubled down on Snow White itself, that's a bit questionable, because I'll be starting to think that it's just probably they are trying to add some sort of propaganda that the next few movie must have be princess all black, no white, somewhere along the line. The thing is, right, it's really kind of weird, especially when it came to Snow White. The thing is, right, it's not just because that when you look at Snow White itself, it was supposed to be like based on the story where she have a black hair, skin as snow as white, with a red lip as red as a blood. Now the funny thing is, right, is it because they can't get a black hair other character? Who knows? But when the story go and indicate like the origin they follow is skin as white as snow, lip as red as blood, and hair as black as ebony, you can't just say that because you can't find a person with a red lip or black hair and not white. Let me introduce you guys to Asian woman. All you need to do for them is just give them a red lip balm, and I'm sure their lip will be as red as blood. Because their skin is really as white as snow and hair having as black as ebony. But I don't know, I mean, like, maybe if they want to rewrite the story, maybe they can have a black person wearing a white wig, because that would be like, they can just say that skin as black as ebony and hair as white as snow along the line. Who knows? Just make them wear a bright red lip, and I think that's the way to go. And then people will stop saying that I'm being a racist because, oh, that may be another form of propaganda. Who knows? Thing is, right, at the end of the day, it's really one of the moments that is getting more and more ridiculous. And I'm not trying to say that whatsoever, is it fine or not. The thing is, when you are not following the origin, if you're saying it's a remake, call it a remake, is fine. But the issue on every hand is that when you kind of like trying to say that, oh, we can't find a character whatsoever, it's hard to say, because more so that the reason why it even got more controversy is that the one who acted as Snow White hated the role. She hated the role. Why are you giving it to her? There are just so many other people out there who is able to fit the role, and you're saying that, oh, because she got black hair. Oh my, how many black hair people are there in the Disney black list or white list or whatever list they have along the line? Hard to say. So the thing is, right, it's really just showcase how much crazy it is. And even more so, why do you have to put this as one of the propaganda is that sometimes when you have like people bashing on it, people attacking them, and even though they apologize or even they double down depending on how they go about, like the person who will cast as Snow White attack everyone saying that you guys are racist, or how about let's just say the origin when the Little Mermaid, they say that, oh, as a black person you just expect it. You kind of like bet the question, like, is it really full of propaganda, or is it they just want to purposely and praise the blackness in character or blackwash character along the line because it is what they want? If they think that it's fine, then the other way should be fine as well, because if you say that blackwashing a character is fine, then it means that whitewashing a character is fine as well. You can't have one way along the line. If you say that whitewashing is considered racist, then blackwashing is also considered racist. You can't say one is not the other. Both are the same, because whitewashing or blackwashing is still color washing. It is still a racist if you go either way. So when you go and talk about it, is it that Disney just trying to end in propaganda, trying to get fans or trying to get people to talk about it and then attacking each other? I think that is another way of a form of propaganda. So you can't really just say that it's not. And more so that there are actually new articles going as far as trying to defend the actress. They say that you can hate all you want, but you can't take your eyes off her. I guess I won't take my eyes off her at being a laughing stock at this era, because she get herself into, like, she just destroy her career in the negative, in a bad way, in a negative way, depending on how you call about it. So it's really one of the moment that they has so, like, Disney has so many good animation movie that is really like have black character in them. Instead of portraying them as the main character or trying to get to find them along the line, they decide to just attack even older animation that is kind of like, because its skin is not as white, no, we must have black. Little Mermaid is a red hair, white skin, no, we must have a brown skin, brown hair. Because that's what they want. They want to showcase that maybe the character is fixed for the role, maybe. But the thing is, right, how can we be so sure that you are following the origin of what made Disney Disney? Disney are well known for Little Mermaid and all this, and the reason is that when you look at their original, people know them for that. And oh no, you decide to change the origin because you feel like it. I don't feel like it's just that they're trying to change for the sake of changing. I think there may be some sort of propaganda in them. And that is the reason why I say that. Is it that they are thick skin to the point that maybe the one who wrote the story is thick skin, trying to make the propaganda as a norm? And that may be true. But then again, when you have other animation like The Princess and the Frog, whose main character is known as the Disney first black princess, instead of having a black person to do this, maybe in future they may release The Princess and the Frog and it has to be a white. No! And then all the black people start making noise along the line. If they get a black person, then maybe no one make along the line. But then, oh no, they get the prince to be a white. Then and now everyone was like, oh no, another issue along. The thing is, right, it's not just that, right? If they really want, like, even like the case of Disney, they saying that, oh, they want to showcase that woman is strong. Like even for Snow White, she said that she doesn't like the character. She wants the character to be strong. She wants the character to be black along the line. Yeah, why not go and ask Disney why did they not release called the hunchback of Notre Dame? Who one of the main character is apparently a black, who amazingly have black hair and is known to have a strong personality. Oh wait, Disney couldn't do it because it also, when you go and look at their history, yeah, they used to have an issue where they say that there are people who don't want children to watch it because it's considered there is a lot of like racism or discrimination within the story. It may be too harsh for young children along the line. Yeah, a show that is like 28 years old. Back then, it was an issue. I guess even till now, it might be an issue. But at the end of the day, is it really Disney having propaganda or not? Who knows? That's for you guys to decide. Do you guys think that Disney having propaganda, or is it that themselves are having too thick skin to the point that it's just a norm for them, but propaganda to us? Write in the comment section, we can discuss it further, because at the end of the day, whatever I say today, it is still technically my speculative thought. It's just a random chat. But whether you like it or not, you still have to understand that sometimes when you point finger at one side, you have to look at the other side. There is a lot of things. Just because people think that anime have some sort of propaganda and what's not, doesn't mean that Disney itself don't have propaganda. It doesn't mean that Western doesn't have propaganda. There is always one side to the other side. It's not just one-sided. It's not a one-way road that you are driving on. You are looking at a lot of different sides. You have to look at different point of view. You have to understand that sometimes it's just that one false step can lead to many issue, and that how Disney should be recovering from it, it should be looking at themselves, where they went wrong, what caused the problem, and why a lot of people are talking about it. Maybe in a form you can call it PR, you can call it marketing, who knows, but in a way, if that is the way to get people talking, it may be also another form of propaganda if using the logic of those people. But at the end of the day, it's really hard to say whether it is true or not. It's for you guys to decide. So the comment section is open for you guys to talk about. But if not, if you do like this video, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe for more random chat where I'll talk about stuff that sometimes makes sense, doesn't make sense, or don't random at time. But the one thing I hope is not random for you guys is have a nice day or night. Bye.